Thanks, everyone. This is the first time I'm on a stage talking about something. Yeah. Thanks. So, thanks for the support. I need it. My name is Bastiaan Wassenaar. I'm really an ops guy. VMware all the way. Prince 2, expired. Who is using that anyway? No one, I believe. And then I slowly changed, moving to the cloud. Before I left to Norway, I worked in ProRail and Dutch Railways. I started in Norway in a small seismic company in oil and gas as an IT manager. And I now work in a company called Azure. That's the new name since May. It's a Swedish company that bought a lot of new companies. So we're in a, kind of new phase of the company. That's very exciting. Small detail, before I worked at ProRail, I worked at AEB Amsterdam. I saw it in the news recently. Not my fault. So yeah, like I said, I'm really an ops guy, and I made it my mission. Mission, it's kind of big, but to learn more about the development and take that back to the ops guys. Because let's be honest, in big enterprises and in the company I work for, the service provider as well, we're all busy, the ops guys, getting the dinosaurs, holding them alive, and we don't have time to just use 2 days to understand what GitHub is, to work with PowerShell, the simple things like which development people are used to doing. So, and my way of doing that is that when I started in Azure last year, they had an Azure Stack, one of the first two in Norway. Question, do people know what an Azure Stack is? No? And that's the cool part, I think. That's Microsoft Azure in your own data center. So the OEMs that are here, Dell, HP, Lenovo, and all the other ones, they have a collaboration with Microsoft to make Azure available in your own data center. And this hardware it's running on, it's off the shelf, but it's certified. It goes through a lot of tests and to comply with the Azure stuff. And it's, for today, you can get a 4-node or go as big as a 60-node. Or you can use a 1-node development kit. That one is really cool, because if you're going to use that, you need a big server. So if you can find one in your data center, take it and install this dev kit, because you get a little bit of a view into how public Azure works. And that's, for me as an ops guy, exciting, because I get cloud capabilities. I have blinking lights in my data center. I still need to worry about these network cables and how we're going to implement it in where we are going to have it. So, the Edge. So I was a little bit worried with Ralph's his talk, because his Edge is on Kubernetes. That's his platform. It needs to run somewhere, right? It needs to be some hardware, big or small. Where Azure Stack is in the Microsoft philosophy is this drawing they made, all the way from Azure Sphere, the chip they're going to make to enable IoT devices and integrate it with Azure, to the Azure Data Box Edge, also a really cool device. It can, you can send all the data to it. It has an FPGA, so you can process the data and then move it forward to the public cloud. And then there's Azure Stack. I think for now, Amazon is trying to make their product Outpost. They're testing with it now right away, but for now it's the only, I believe, true hybrid cloud there is on the market. I really need something to drink. So far, so good? No questions? No. No, not at all. No, because that's a really good question. Remark. I'm really engaged because this is real hybrid cloud. You get, and we can come to that, you get real infrastructure as a service. And it's not a hypervisor like we used to with VMware or Hyper-V or that kind of thing. And that's what makes me so passionate about, because it's in your data set and you can really do it. And there are really cool use cases for it. But I have to say, go public if you can. It saves you a lot of pain. Because you still need to manage it. Disks fail, hardware fails, you have to integrate with your network. It's a difficult thing as well. So if you can go public, use it. But also, the development in the public cloud is way faster than you can get on an Azure Stack. So it's not the holy grail for everything. Like, that's where Rolf was talking about. If we can run containers on a Raspberry Pi already, that can be the edge as well. So it's not the holy grail. Azure Stack is not holy grail, but it can help you in some cases. And that's what I want to talk about. I really need to hurry. One of the big cases we see is edge and disconnected. Because a lot of parts in the world, you don't have good internet access. And if you really need a cloud-enabled platform to process your data, or the place where the data exists, think IoT and fabrics, or just the data needs to be, this is a very real thing. Data, and we need data on the place where we are. So if I'm living in Norway, right, and we have, it's Svalbard in Norwegian, it's Spitsbergen in Dutch. If you live there, you have very bad connection. So we can deploy our cloud soon in Norway as well. But if you have a site that you're doing research, so you need to process things, you need to have compute power at the edge. So that's the important thing. Another cool part is that for this case is a really new thing, and that's the military. Azure Stack its infrastructure is PCI DSS certified, so it's very secure and stuff. So governments are looking into it, and this is the design from Dell to make it ruggedized and make it ready to carry for people in the military. And you can run, this is an important as well, you can run it disconnected. So you can run it disconnected from Azure AD and create an ADFS in the cloud so that it runs completely off the grid. And that in some cases, we need that. Not every case, but some cases. Another one we see in the Nordics is compliance. Especially Norwegian law is very strict by, you need to know where your data is for finance, tax, government, and all that kind of stuff. So we have a couple of really cool cases, I think. We have a multi-tenant stack, so we can, like in Azure, create individual user tenants that run on the same stack that don't see each other, just share the infrastructure. One thing cool, we talked about egress data and that it's a big chunk of the cost. We have one client that we say, okay, you know what? Put your data on our Azure Stack. We don't charge you for egress data. And he runs a part of his application on our Azure Stack just in a simple storage account, and runs his presentation later in a web app and that kind of stuff. Saves him, I think it was around €1,000 a month. So, and that's a small use case. Another thing is the city of Oslo has an application as well, delivered by a third party who uses Terraform against Azure Stack. So for them, it doesn't matter which cloud they use. They can use Google, Amazon, Azure, or Azure Stack and use Terraform as a tool to deploy it, because there's a Terraform provider for it as well. So here you see it's real hybrid cloud. It isn't just PowerShell and that kind of stuff. The biggest case where I spend a lot of my time not only implementing, but also learn the ops guys at KPMG Norway is to use time to look into ARM templates, to use Terraform, just deploy something, get to know it, because this is the way we are going when it comes to IT ops as well. You need to learn PowerShell, you need to learn scripting, you need to use the Azure CLI, because you can use the Azure CLI in the same way you use it in public Azure as on Azure Stack. One very interesting proof of concept we did was a company that needed to run something on Kubernetes, and they used Rancher to deploy a cluster on Azure Stack. So again, Rancher also works with an Azure Stack on the location where you want it. One small thing, Norway and Sweden are opening Norway is coming soon, their own regions in public Azure. So people say, oh, it will kill the business for Azure Stack. I don't think so, because it's a unified way of using this cloud. The way you work in public Azure, it's the same way you work on an Azure Stack. And that's, I think, also very powerful. Technical, oh, this is for an ops guy, this is heaven. We have hardware. It's just hardware. And then you have what they call the extensible server, and that's the black box from Microsoft. It's a very closed system. As an operator, you can do something, you can look into it and change things yourself. If you have a case, you need to call Microsoft, you have a breaking glass procedure, okay, then we're opening it up, and then you see the magic coming through. And then that's where I learned a lot about public Azure. Like I said, it's using the Azure Resource Manager to use it, and this is what it looks like. This is the portal of an Azure Stack. So it looks like Azure, it smells like Azure. Probably it is Azure. Come a little bit. This is the Azure CLI, and like I said, you're creating your own private cloud. Does this work? Let me. Ah, yeah, cool. Here you see the cloud there are normally coming with the Azure CLI, Azure Cloud, China, government, German. And here's my own one with this kind of profile. We're getting into that. This is the marketplace. Like Azure, it has a marketplace, but you need to fill it yourself. There are a bunch of vendors that are giving you. So here is the image for the AKS engine. And you can create templates and stuff yourself. That's really cool. So if you have an application or an environment, you can put it in the marketplace, and users in the tenant can use it as well. There are also platform as a service on Azure Stack. And here is often a misconception, because, oh yeah, I just click on, I want to have Azure Function. That's probably what Mark will be doing. And it downloads and it's installed. No. All these platform as a services, it's SQL, app services, runs on infrastructure as a service. So the thing is, if you are going to give your users SQL as a service so they can create a database and do their stuff with the database, you have to maintain and manage a SQL server in the back. So this is, as an operator, old school operation stuff. But the thing we did at KPMG is really awesome, I think, because they have really big SQL data clusters, and we put it on the side on an Hyper-V cluster, big performing SQL clusters, but their users and their applications can now just go in ServiceNow, order the application for the time being, the audit they're going to do, only get a database endpoint, put in their data, do their stuff, and be done with it. In the end, when they're done, the operators from KPMG can archive all the data that's on the SQL cluster. But the thing is, they save a lot of time with setting up environments, because we automated a lot with the interface with Azure. Oh man, I need to hurry. APIs. Here's get interesting for probably a lot of people here. Like you saw the Mark, don't laugh. The PowerShell, right, with the hybrid profile, because Azure Stack is a niche in the Azure cloud. It's behind Azure, so also the APIs are behind. What Microsoft does, because it was a lot of hassle to make it work, I think twice a year, yeah, they release this hybrid profile, and that's a set of APIs with either compute or network or things that work both on Azure Stack as they work in public Azure. So if you're going to design a hybrid application, keep that in mind. It's important to use, and that's the same for all the Python, Node.js, everything you want to use. Kubernetes. In my search for the answer to life, I really understand containers, and that's what I do as well with our customers and internally in the company. I need to sometimes get them out of their ops work, keeping the dinosaurs alive, and say, guys, containers is 2019. Come on, you need to understand this, because this is where we are going as an IT community and world. And Microsoft knows that as well. There's a big demand from all over the world that, okay, we need to get containers running in Azure Stack in a proper way. Last summer, finally they released the AKS engine also to work with Azure Stack. Well, we come back to that later. First, they released this static cluster, but this is on 0.1.11. And as far as I learned from my short time in Kubernetes, that's already way in the past. Here's the AKS engine. You just configure your JSON file with the version you want, and you have to put in your portal from your Azure Stack, define which image you want to use that you have downloaded in your marketplace, and you hit it off. And again, that's, I think, is really the cool thing. You get a public IP address, you get your network, you get your availability sets, and that's, for me, true hybrid cloud on premises. And that's, I think, really awesome. But now I wanted to show you the Kubernetes portal and that kind of stuff. I had a deployment failure and no time to check it up. So I reached out to some guys at Microsoft. Guys, doesn't work. Now I'm got an invite to give feedback to the developer team. So I probably need to go on Pluralsight and up my game on Kubernetes. But I think this is, for me personally, it's a really cool journey to be on, and also drag some people with me, because it's important, and especially in Norway, where there only live 5 million people, and in such a big country, human resources are very scarce, and find good people. So I try to help them and get along. Okay, so it didn't work. But I remember working with the ACS engine 1.5 years ago, I think. Where were we 1.5 years ago with Kubernetes on Azure? It was still new and shaky sometimes, and that kind of stuff. So this is a thing I think Microsoft will push hard on, especially after Ignite. Limitations today, too much to mention. I think one of the biggest one is no VNet integration. VNet on Azure Stack for now doesn't have service endpoints, so yeah, that doesn't help. Also, public IP, you need an ingress controller, 5 public IPs, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of add-ons that doesn't work. So there's a lot of things not working. Probably not a good presentation, but it's just what I want to take away. It's really a cloud you have on premises, one way or another. And I think that's the cool part with Azure Stack. So I'm talking about the platform under the platform that Rolf was talking about, and in the end, this Mark with his serverless function. But in the end, things need to run on hardware. And I think Azure Stack is a really cool product that. And I'm even interested in the Outpost thing for Amazon. So maybe that's even cooler. Thank you. It was my first time. Give me feedback in any form. I gladly take it. Go in the mountains in Norway and reconsider everything I did today. Thank you.